Huge edition coming up of Triple M NRL Daily. We got some of the best players in the game here today, Luke Keary and Josh Reynolds.
And we're going to talk about Jahrome Hughes' memory about when he landed in Queensland. It's just a little bit murky, so we're interested to see what he comes up with.
And we'll dive into a few teams, the Broncos, Tigers, Manly. Dive into a bit of halves chat. 6, 7.
Oh,
Which
no.
one are we?
He did
Oh,
it. He
no.
did
It gets better than this, I promise. Luke Keary, how are you, my friend?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. Good to see you.
I'm my old sparring partner.
Exactly.
today.
Josh Grubby Reynolds, how are you, Josh?
Mate, I've definitely had more tussles than me and you, mate.
I remember in the grand final, he stepped on my foot at the scrum.
Oh,
I
right.
stamped on my foot at the first scrum.
On purpose?
No. Oh, that was a great one. First tackle, shoulder straight out. Thanks for coming.
It's good to see you because I just before was like, we did a podcast 2 weeks ago, but it was 2 years ago. So it's a good
I actually thought you G'd me up there,
No, I
eh?
was being dead set serious.
The podcast was high up on the. It was actually higher than the buy round.
It was, mate. Footy talk. It was great. There's plenty happening, though, in teamless for the trials. It's kind of like the proper week of trials. You know, you got most teams playing their full-strength side. The big one that's come out of the Bunnies, we expected this, but Jai Gray's at fullback, Latrell Mitchell in the centres.
Yeah, it's a big call. Obviously, Wayne made the decision early in the preseason. The left side looks scary.
Oh, man.
Johnson, Trell, Cody, Fafita. I thought Gray was good last year. Like Trell's probably he'd say it himself. It just didn't quite work physically at fullback. He had some great games there, but he missed a lot of time through injury and other things. So I think it is the way forward for them with Gray at fullback.
But I just think it adds a different style to their play. I feel with Trell, and mate, you've played with him. You know, we all know what he brings, but at the same time, when you look at Gray and his effort areas and just sniffing around the ruck constantly, and I just feel it's a better suit for South. But a guy that surprised me, boys. What about Dufty on the weekend?
He was good. Yeah, he was turmoil last year at Warrington. There was a heap of stuff going on. Ended up parting ways in the off season, but he's lightning.
Yeah,
He's lightning.
He just had, it looked like when he first started at Saints, everyone was like, mate, that first 2 steps was rapid. So interesting to see what happens with his contract, because I think he's only got a New South training trial deal.
Yeah.
But what do you think, boys, about with Gray? The only thing is, I suppose, the try line stuff where he's out the back of the sweep lines. He's just a runner. You reckon they'd possibly mix it up there and possibly put Latrell at the back, because he's the best in the business at it, 3-on-2s. There's no one much better than him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, obviously, Stephen Crichton did it for the Dogs last year at certain points, but I think they've made a decision. Latrell's going to be that left centre. Cody's the key to it all. Like, if Cody plays and he unlocks that left edge, he'll unlock Latrell. Gray's he's gonna have to find that ball playing. Teddy was similar when he was younger. He didn't have the pass that he's kind of developed. He's gonna have to develop that. But I reckon we'll see a lot. I reckon Jai will play a lot on the right. Yeah, and Trell will play a lot out the back of Fafita rather than playing off Gray. Latrell might play off the back. Cody likes playing. He plays without a fullback a lot of times. Yeah, the back row leading. So I reckon they'll look a little bit differently this year.
A little bit like Penrith. Edwards just holds that right.
He
just holds there, and then whatever they've got back coming on the down. Yeah,
and Cody will hold that left. It'd be interesting to see. Like, Cody's got to stay on the field this year, but if he does, Latrell he'll be able to unlock Latrell.
Ashton Ward's got the 7 as well, it looks like, because Jamie Humphrey's on the bench there at 14. He obviously played a couple games last year. Do you reckon he's the right choice at 7?
Oh, it's an interesting one, because I actually heard that Jonah Glover, he was going to be the 7, which look, and it's not 100%, but until he got that jaw injury, it's weird, because I felt Hutcho sort of come on and he was going to be the guy, you know, and now Glover goes down, and then it's sort of like Ward's jumped him on the pecking order, and this is the trial, isn't it, Kez, where you want to get your combinations where they're about going to be. So I think that's probably even a bigger statement at where, you know, Souths are looking. And well, Humphrey's like, where do you sit now? You know, are they maybe testing him at 9? You know, but as a bit of behind cheese, or interesting selection.
Yeah, he's off contract as well, Jamie Humphreys, end of this year.
He is. I thought he was good last year without being great, and then Ward came in and good too.
Yeah.
Without setting the world on fire. But the suspension for the first two, it'll be hard to know what's going on there until Ward's going to get the first crack there. He'll have 2 weeks to cement that position, and they look healthy at the moment. They've got everyone available. If he fires, Humphries he'll be in the 19.
Yep.
But he'll struggle to get that jersey back. I think.
Are you worried at all about the size of Ashton Ward? He's obviously a pretty small guy coming into first grade.
Very similar build to me.
And me.
Maybe put your body in front and lie down and let him trip over you. But, yeah, you know what, though, mate? Honestly, obviously, when you look at him, you actually think, oh, like, he's really small. But, mate, he had a crack. Like, he puts his body in front. And if you've got that, you'll learn eventually how your body type tackles. You know, I probably had the worst tackling technique in the history of the NRL. Just ask Cam Serrato. Used to literally that last year say to me, like, how have you lasted that long? But, mate, if he has a crack, that's all that matters to me. But the one thing, you know, Kez, you just said it, I think with Ward and Humphries, whoever gets the nod, having these leaders around them this year compared to who they had last year, like, you know, their captain's back and he'll take a lot of the load off these boys because you know what he does, mate.
He ball plays through the middle for him.
Exactly right, man. So I think they're going to grow and have that little bit more confidence compared to last year where they had to be the man coming into first grade. It's so hard.
Yeah, they did, and they chopped and changed. People were out. Tallis Duncan will be next to him on the right. Jack Whiten will be next to him. He's a great – he might swap in and out of centre, Ward there in yardage. Jack will help him a heap. But, yeah, it is a concern with all these young guys. Like Cade Reid seen the other day, and you go, is he going to hold up physically? And you see a lot of those young halves, they'll come in, play 10 games, sometimes get dropped back, come back in the next year. Like it's difficult at the start. And if Souths want to go, hey, we want to win a premiership this year, they'll need to decide on that 7 pretty early.
How did you go straight up? Like, because
I played off the bench for my first 15 games.
Defensively, like it is very different. I feel, you know, even when you're playing Reggie's, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel you can. It's not hide yourself, but like you're not in the full front of it. Whereas like teams go, all right, well the Ward's there, we're going after him, no doubt. Like, but how did you sort of deal with that when you were young? Did you just sort of say, I've got to have a crack?
It's hard, yeah. Well, I was shielded, right? The first 15 games off the bench, you played 20 minutes some games. That like you're not making 20 or 30 tackles, but when you do, it is hard. I still remember my first year, I was getting both SCs needled up and AC needled up, just going, what is, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And it's harder now with the back rows we've got in the game now. That'll test him the most. Like even Adam Reynolds, when he came into first grade, Madge said, kick and tackle. Don't worry about anything else, just kick for us and make your tackles. And everything else will, like it's one of the biggest parts as coming through as a half.
Yeah, and then we're such an attacking game now, like, you watch all the coverage of it, they show big tries or big hits, but defense in any position, like technically and making sure you're winning the ruck, and it's not emphasized enough only in clubland. And that's why people say, how come he's not playing? He's a mad attacking player, but he's also letting them get on the front foot and catching and, you know, all the...
We've seen it with Wayne in 24. Last 5 rounds, he dropped Isaiah Katoa to reserve grade.
Yeah.
And that would have been a defensive thing about, hey, mate, you've had a big year here. This is your first year. Go back. Then Isaiah played for Tonga at the end of the year, won him that game against New Zealand, comes back last year, nearly wins the Dally M. There is a process there. There's a lot of players that have gone. Sam Walker went through it. There's a lot of players that have gone through that that period about trying to get yourself ready for first grade.
Do you boys remember what you weighed when you first came in first grade?
Still weigh the same. 78. I was about 78 kilos.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think I was about 82.
80,
I remember like coming in there now, another double that. So
What are you now? Oh, mate, you'd be 76 now, no?
yeah,
6 back there under the shirt.
I got 70 in, and the old the gut's probably 6 itself.
You spoke about Sam Walker there as well. So he's in the 7, DCE's in the 6. Is that kind of just a nod to Sam Walker? You're in charge of the team?
Yep. I think so. He's done a lot of work there, and they've developed him over 6 or 7 seasons now. They obviously put their faith in him and said, you're our 7. And I don't think Daly coming in changes that. He'll play on the left, which is a little bit different. He did it the back end of last year, but that's a coaches like to do it. Like it's a subconscious thing about, hey, you're still the leader of this team.
It's it's funny. This is the one thing I've thought about because I've got the Roosters win the comp. I think they're just so hard to break down. I was sort of looking at their team, and they're brilliant I don't think they'll beat themselves much this year with all the leaders they got in their side. But then I was like, this is the only one I just didn't know how it was going to work because I feel they're both halves who have taken control of their teams. But I also feel DCE over his career, he does play a bit like a 5'8" at times, like drifting across field. Not, your half these days that plays on ball and plays nice and square and plays out the back to, like a Katoa where Nicarima just sort of sweeps. Whereas I actually think DCE it'll suit him, eh? He takes that step back, but the one thing where DCE helps Walker is his long kicking game.
Yep.
And that's going to help the Roosters because I feel last year at times they couldn't get out of trouble if their back five were, defensively being held. DCE will just pump it downfield, as we've seen him do it multiple times at Brookie and just sort of get him out of trouble. So it's an interesting combination, but I think they'll work it out.
Yeah, he'll feel free from being in the 6. Like, you know what it's like. If you're number 7, there's a lot of responsibility there. A lot of pressure comes with it. He gets to go, and he knows he's kind of second fiddle, right? He won't play like it, but he knows he's not the 7. He can play on the right side. He'll kick really well. He'll do 80, 90% of the kicking for him. But his biggest influence, and it was Cooper's too, right? Cooper was great for us, but he didn't set the world on fire, try assist and line break like what he did at Melbourne. Daly's biggest asset to that team will be his temperament. His temperament and his 350 games in NRL State of Origin for Australia, they'll be able to look over to the right and Daly will be able to go, this is what we're doing. This is how you get through this situation. That'll be his biggest asset. It won't be Daly Cherry Evans running around making line breaks and try assists everywhere and things. Like he might get them at times, but his biggest asset will be his temperament.
You did it at a press conference a couple of years ago when you were playing with Sam Walker. I think it might have been around the start of the season, and you basically said, "Oh, this is Sam Walker's team."
Yep.
Like, was that intentionally just to build confidence in him, or were you doing that to quiet some of the media noise around like whose team it is?
Yeah, well, we played around with that. And you've spoken about this last couple of weeks about 6s and 7s.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal, right? It's not just a number. It's a psychological game or thing inside halves, heads, and coaches too, because the 7 is the leader of the team.
Yep.
And as I said, they put a lot of development into Sam. And I always felt so much more comfortable playing 6.
Yeah.
You like I've talked about Dylan Brown now playing, like it's different. You're on the left, you do your job on the left, you play left short side, you play at the back. And it was just time for Sam to take that role. Like that was the best fit for the team. And to be honest, he has to do it this year. I think he has to go to the next level.
Yeah.
He's kind of been in and around that. They didn't do what they needed to do in the semi-final last year against Cronulla. Daly's come in, but Sam needs to elevate that team. He needs to take guys with him.
He's it's so funny. People don't understand. Like when people say, "Oh, it's 6 and 7," I'm like, mate, the way I would watch my games back, I didn't play 7 too much. Probably a handful of times my whole career, but you know what it is for me? It's the actual kicking side of things. The kicking and you kick points. Where if it's natural for you when you're a kid and you've grown up doing it a lot, it's probably. But for me, I never was that. So whenever I had to, play 7, I was like, I wasn't thinking about my normal things that I think I look up at a wide forward. I'm going to take it a lot of the time. Whereas like, I probably shouldn't take that. And then the play's gone, and then I'll miss my kick spot, and it's a lot harder than what people think, and hence why it really makes me think like. With Luai, who went to the Tigers to be a 7, Dylan Brown was possibly. It is a lot harder than what you think. And look at Luai now; he's sort of come back and said, it's not for me, which is also fine. It's not like you're saying you failed. It's it's not your natural instincts to control a team.
Yeah, like you'll stand there on the right. They have to be selfless, the 7s, because you might see a short side you want to take on play 4, but if you you end up on the right touchline. The worst possible place to kick from. You've actually, whereas on the left, you're free. You can play.
Yep.
You've got a guy looking after last play, looking after where we're getting to. It's so, and we've seen it now. The Luai ones. I think I said it about Dylan Brown and the Knights at the moment. Don't weaken your biggest strength by trying to cover up one of your weaknesses. Like don't take one of your best players and try to turn him into something that he's probably not going to be. We've seen it not many players have transitioned as a genuine like top end 6 into a top end 7. Those 7s are all they've come through as 7s,
Natural.
like your best
Yeah.
7s. Your Thurstons, Cleary, Cronk, all these guys were just 7. Like they were
Yeah.
just 7s coming through, and the 6s are more running, instinctual players, less game management, things like that. So it's a lot bigger deal than people make it.
Yeah, Dewey's in the 7 then for the Tigers.
Yep.
We sort of expected that anyway. Do you like Dewey at 7 for the Tigers?
Yeah, it's his time. Dewey's been here, there, everywhere. He's actually, he's had some injury dramas, but every time he's played in certain positions, he's showed some really good, I suppose, weapons in different areas. Like I feel even when he was in the centres, he had some good touches. Defensively, he's good. Nothing phases Dewey. That's the thing. He wants this now. I can just see in a couple of his press conferences. He's a confident guy.
Yeah.
He's a very confident guy. Like I'm mates with Dewey, and he won't mind me saying this. Like he wants control. He really does, and he's got a really good opportunity to do it. I really like the look of Jock Madden. He played some really nice, double up plays on the weekend against the Roosters, and he's been in that Broncos system and been behind, Renault and even Billy Walters up there and Ezra Mam. So he's sort of done his apprenticeship. So I suppose if the Dewey thing doesn't work, he's got Finau as well. So they got some options, but I think they've done the right thing. I think putting Dewey in the 7's the right thing for the first.
Is he a 7 though? Is Dewey a 7? Like, is he a genuine? Is he going to take that team and take him into the top 8?
At the moment, I think he's the best option. I think. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Do you like? I know what you're saying, but
we'll find out.
Well, we were just saying though,
it's
not natural.
7?
Probably it's probably not natural to him because he's played fullback, he's played centres,
Yep.
he's played 6, he's played a bit of 7, but look, maybe he needed a full preseason, mate, and it looks like he's been trying to, I suppose, dominate that side, but they need that, man, don't they?
Well, the thing I like about it is they've obviously gone away, and Benji and Luai have said this is not that it didn't work, but it was uncomfortable for Jahrome. I think he went halfway through the year last year without a try assist, which is just unlike him. Right? At Penrith, he was all over everything, and you could see the freedom he played with down the left. So I like the fact that they've gone, he's our best player. Let's just put him back in the role that he's played his whole career in, that he's a New South Wales State of Origin number 6. Let's just get him back there and then figure out the 7 after. And Dewey might be the answer, or it might take a few goes at different people, or it might take them going out and getting someone in the middle of the year or for next year. But I like that they've gone, let's just get back to basics, get back to Jahrome playing on the left as a 6. And you can hear the way Jarome's talking about, you mentioned Batman and Robin and things like that, which that is it's true, right? He's the Robin now. He gets to take a little bit of a step back. So I like that they've done that. They've basically gone, that didn't work. Let's move on.
He's got confidence as well, Luai. I saw him at the NRL media launch. He was fired up. He looks very.
Did you say they're definitely playing finals?
He said that. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, good on him. Like, I suppose where the club's at, like the Tigers, like even he's probably just, he's probably giving a bit to the fans and stuff, like because they want that, like the Tigers, mate. And look at what's happened in the off season. It's turmoil. Let's face it. There's been plenty going on off the foot. No, it is.
Really? What happened?
Well, mate, I'm not saying. People say, "Oh, you hate the Tigers." It's totally the opposite. I actually want them to go well. I really do, mate. I played there.
They're good for when they're going well. Like imagine them going well with some of those Sydney teams.
Hey, they're selling out when they're coming last. It's insane.
Yeah. And I actually think with the one thing with the Dewey 7, speaking about Jahrome, the only difference, Jarome's natural instinct is that, a little bit of crossfield, as a lot, most 6s start off. But I will say with Dewey, like he can play nice and square. There was some plays last year where I was like, wow, man, like he's definitely got it, but it's the ability to, do it once, come back the other side, do it again. So, mate, I'm confident in him. I actually really am. So I think he'll be good for the Tigers and open up the weapons on the outside edges.
The other one that's interesting for the Tigers is Macassini, the young gun. Like he's been highly touted, meant to be a superstar of the future. He's on the wing for them.
Yeah.
So whether or not he gets that spot for round 1.
He looked like Stephen Crichton on the weekend.
Oh, man.
Like he looked like Tommy Talau's a good plug, a first grade player. He dished him up a couple of times out there. I love that they put him in. Like, oh, let's go. Let's just get him out. Those young outside backs, this is perfect for him, and they usually break out like this in that. I think he debuted last year.
Yeah, debuted last year. Yeah, obviously got a hat trick in the trial on the
Yeah.
weekend.
This is his let's go, let's see him go. It's great to see them producing some of these young guys.
It's I had him. I done the 19s Origin last year with
Yep.
Josh Jackson. He was the coach, and Makasini was 18th man. And
Oh wow.
in training, I remember Jacko saying to him,
Can we
"Oh, we got to
promote
play this guy." Really? No, because you just, mate. Honestly, he was actually. It's very like
comparing
Critter,
to someone?
Izzy Folau.
Yeah, wow.
Honestly, no, he was because he's got
Yep.
that same tallness and
Yep.
and then in the air, like he's jumping. Yeah, like you see everyone just jumping, but he's jumping that much further, and you're going,
Wow.
so, mate, he's going to be a special talent. But the best thing I loved about him, mate, he was humble as anything. Like really quiet, really respectful, asking questions. He knew he was 18th man, but he wasn't bitter about it. He was in there helping out the boys. So I really hope he has a big season. And as you said, Kez, it's quite a statement to put in there. So he's got every opportunity.
The Titan spine's a bit of a funny one, obviously. You got Keary at fullback, looks like an absolute superstar. But then in the halves, you got AJ Brimson and Jaden Campbell. And what you guys were just talking about around sixes and sevens, are they both sixes?
Yep.
Or I don't even know. I honestly,
Are they
I'd
all
say they're
fullbacks?
both ones. That's
Yeah.
what I think. I honestly think. I think what's happened here with the Titans, right, is they've got three brilliant fullbacks.
They got Ford. De Groot can play.
Yeah. not a bad selection, but I think towards, before the middle of last year, they were actually all fighting for the fullback position, even when they were playing in other positions. Like, do you remember when Brimson was playing centre and he's like, I hate this, pretty much without saying it. And then Campbell would play 7, but he'd play like a 1. I feel they were all fighting, but then Kinney comes out and when he plays, you can't. He's the best.
He's the best.
He is the best. So I just think with the Titans, it's they need a 7, a proper 7 who's gonna like control everything because they've got weapons, but it's also you can't play. I wouldn't call it touch footy, but that's how they all sort of play. They all play eyes up. Campbell's one of the best at eyes up. Brimo's one of the best at eyes up. Did you boys see Zane Harrison?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So same thing. He was in the 19s last year, and he's an out-and-out 7. He's got that natural ability to. He takes control and wants his hands on the ball. So there's definitely an option there for him. They got Lockie Ilias sort of sitting waiting there, but it's sort of like they're giving this another go. But I hope the key to it all is Campbell. I feel because if he can take control and not take short sides on fourth tackle and end up on the sideline and understand those things, he could turn into a halfback. But I think that's going to be the key.
Yeah, I think it's different for him, right? 2 things. Josh Hannay comes, who worked with Nico Hines and Trindle, and the centerpiece was Brayley, which is important, right? They don't play a traditional 6 and 7 canola, and Will Kennedy at the back, and it worked for them. They didn't win a premiership, but they've been, I think, 2 prelims in a row. They played a different style. They kind of flow off the back of each other. They can both play at the back, but Brayley was the man. And then you look at that, their blueprint is Melbourne. So same thing. Hughes and Munster are fullbacks, were fullbacks. They don't have a traditional 7, and not either one of them doesn't just control the game. It falls on how the game's kind of gone. But the orchestrator is Harry. So I think the main man is Sammy Verrills.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think Hannay is in a great position to get the best out of him. Like he ran a premiership at 20 years old at the Roosters, and everyone thought he was going to be, the next kind of big hooker. And he's had a lot of injuries and things like that, but he's the one to unlock Campbell, Brimson, and Kinney because Hannay will know how to play with him because he's had Nico. And he just has to put it together. Like that's the only time I don't feel like the 7's important is a team like Melbourne.
Yep.
And they've been able to do it, but you have to have it. They've got the best 9 in the world.
Isn't it funny how it's such a great point you make because last year when Brayley all of a sudden started running and taking the line on a little bit more, it actually freed up Nico and Trindle because everyone's like, well, I got to look at the 9 first. And not saying Brayley didn't, but he was actually just running a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then Nico and Trindle go, well, we're not all the focal point anymore. Has he got it in him though? Verrills?
He does.
Yeah. Okay.
He does. He needs to play 80 for starters, which I think they're going to do with him. but it'll be a big step. Like Brayley went from like a very good player to elite last year in the Australian squad.
Yep.
Probably unlucky not to get a run in the end, but yeah, if anyone can do it, I feel like it's Hannay, right? He just did it with Brayley. They've developed him over the last few years. I'm actually high on him. I think they go close to the 8 or nearly in the. I honestly do. Like
The Titans.
I do because for him to get Tino re-signed, Cooper Bye and Jaden Campbell, like Tino's not just re-signing because he just wants to stay. Like he's openly said, I want to win a comp. Like I want success. For him to just turn up, he must believe in what he's doing there. I liked the trial they had against the Dolphins. I reckon they're going to go well. You look at their squad on paper and you go, oh, there's holes everywhere. But everyone said that about Canberra last year.
Yeah.
I think Hannay is. I like him. I like Hannay. I like what he's done without even playing a game yet.
The Hannay way. I've heard him say it a couple of times.
Really, the Hannay way?
No, yeah, like Fodderwakers, like it's the style they're playing.
Okay.
It must be a bit different. That's what he said. This preseason's been the most different and challenging for us. Not challenging physically, but it's like everything's so different. So that maybe they're changing their whole style. And
I reckon they are.
Wade Graham obviously had him at the Sharks as an assistant coach there, and he in here all the time talks about how tactically brilliant Josh Hannay is and how he's a real deep thinker of the game. So hopefully the Titans go well. Before we go to a break, boys, Talakai looks like he might be heading to the Perth Bears. The writing was almost on the wall for Talakai a bit when they signed Owen Trout from England. Do you like that sign for the Bears?
Yeah, I'd definitely sign him. Multiple positions, can sort of fill in back row, centre, and yeah, I feel his time at the Sharkies, he's been really good for them. But they've got some really good young guys coming through, and yeah, I definitely think I feel with the Bears, they're actually doing it a fair bit. You know, they're signing a few guys who can play a few positions. You've signed Wishart, who can play a few positions. You've signed Meany, who can play a few positions. And if they sign Talagai, same thing. They're probably just going, well, let's get guys here who are footy players, and then we'll sort it out from there. So I think they're probably going with that.
A bit like what Gus did with the Connor Tracy's, Salmon, Drew Hutchinson was there. Yeah, I like it. It's not the superstar signing, but played State of Origin. I reckon he'll play on an edge. He'll play on an edge for him. It's a good signing. They need a big fish, like one or two big fish.
Do you reckon they're going to get that big fish though now? Because there's not that many big fish available, really, is there?
It happens every year. Someone's disgruntled by something happens to someone, and they need to be like opportunistic and go after him. And then Chamis is probably scheming in the background too. You know what I mean? By November they get a crack too.
Well, they can. It was interesting. They can actually talk to these players now because they're technically not on contract for 2028. So really, these guys who are November 1 for this year, they can talk to as well. The Perth Bears. They just obviously can't table offers because they're not under contract.
Yeah, but you can sort of say to someone's manager,
yeah,
mate,
exactly.
I'll give you 3 years at
Get
least.
a 1 year deal.
It's not tabled.
Matty Burton's the name that's been tossed up a few times. It's a big fish.
Yeah.
Like it's a big fish. What do you think about that?
Oh, I'd hate to see him leave. I really would. I really love Birdo. I love what he's done for us at the Bull. He's been there through the tough times. He's come through. They've tinkered with him at 7. And the only thing I will say is I think you get to a point in your career, and I think Matty's at that point where, I'm pretty confident. I'm not going to say he's 100% said it, but I think, Birdo's like, man, I'm a 6. I don't want to play centre. I don't want to play here. Like, you get to a point, and I actually went through it a fair bit too. Like people are like, oh, you play well at 9 sometimes. Like, yeah, I don't want to play 9. Yeah. Like, I'm at that point where I feel I've earned the right to play 6, and that's what I want to play. And, there's obviously we've got some good crop in the halves coming through, and that's the only thing I'd say. But I definitely do not want him to stay, like, especially that big I want him to stay. Got it. That big left boot gets us out of trouble.
He's gone. Galvin 6,
please,
Sullivan 7.
I really would love him to stay, mate. I really would.
Now, if you wanted to leave us a review at any time, you can, and we do appreciate it on Apple, Spotify. There's a good feature on Spotify. You can put your comments in there. Let us know what you think of the show. You can bag us. You can hammer us all.
YouTube. No writing any comments in, mate.
Yeah. I really love this Luke guy. He's great. Who is this nerd? But we got this comment here on Instagram on Triple M NRL from Keith, and he said around the Origin eligibility, I think the issue is it's yet another change thrown at us. The NRL's done an amazing job during COVID, but the constant changes are starting to wear a bit thin for me. Do you boys agree with Keith?
The sentiment is that you hear, the sentiment is there with fans going, why are we changing? Da, da, da. But when you really dig down deep, they're minor changes. Like we had Graham in the other day. They're not, he even said, he goes, people won't really notice this stuff, like the six again from inside the 20, things like that. The Origin one is a big topical issue. I think we've all, I think nearly everyone's agreed with it. There hasn't been someone who's really, there's a lot of traditional fans that have not happy about it. But when you really look at it, we're not introducing an extra 50 or 60 players. This is a handful of guys who all grew up in Queensland or New South Wales, and they've got the right to be able to play for it, and it helps the international game.
It's the only. So I've just feedback I've got is it seems like it's the old school guys that are like, oh, you know, why are we changing this now? And Origin's just about this and that. But look, guys, as we know, you know, Volandi's he's going to constantly change the game. And look, I've got to say he's done a good job.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you know, so far he really, really has, and he made some really good moves. And as you said, it's for the growth of the game. But at the same time, you know, I've heard a few of the boys, you know, have comments. I've seen Adam comment yet last night, and you know, and obviously Victor and whatnot. These guys are from New South Wales, mate. They want to play.
Yeah,
you know, like they made a decision. They did to go. As long as there's no chopping and changing, and like that's the only thing. I feel that's what it was, like the ability to chop and change. But mate, I'm actually okay with it. I think it'll make the game even better. We'll have the superstars playing Origin, and that's what we want.
Yeah, the chopping and changing. I reckon that's an interesting one. They got to get rid of the tier 1, tier 2. Yeah, that's not not applicable anymore. And then you choose your country and your state at the start.
Yep.
Whatever the eligibility criteria says, and you stick to it. I don't think we can have this. You play for New Zealand. If you don't make New Zealand now, you can play for Samoa or Tonga, or if you don't make the Australian team. Like even with Sam Walcott, it's like he can play for England.
Yeah.
Right? That's massive. But you got to choose. Like Victor's chosen England. He's English, but State of Origin is a different one. But you can't then, go from Tonga to Australia to wherever you can play for. I think it is
what about if you
pick and stick.
What about if your parents one of each? That's the only thing,
choose.
right? Yeah,
choose.
That's the argument, isn't it? You know, it's like, well, I want to represent New Zealand, and then I suppose Tonga or Samoa or whoever. But yeah, that's for the Origin side of things. What the argument's about, I'm sweet with it.
Would you have picked Ireland or Australia? Ireland. Yeah. Very good. The one that is interesting actually on Origin is Jahrome Hughes. Now they're investigating when he arrived.
I love this one.
I will say this: he's
a Queensland
out and out Kiwi though. Like he's got the Kiwi accent. He's a proper Kiwi. But there's a chance he might be eligible for Queensland. If he is, would you go with him or Dearden? Because Munster and Hughes have that combination at Clubland.
Can we just confirm this?
Could be Munster, Hughes, Grant.
I heard, and I don't know if this is untrue, but he doesn't know if when he come off 13 or something.
Fishy. That's very fishy.
I was like, hold on here.
He said that.
No, no, there was an article about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, mate, you know. I love that.
I moved to Australia when I was 4 years old. And I remember landing like in Australia as a 4-year-old. I can remember I was 4. Oh, that's way longer than fuck. If you're 13, you know.
Yeah, but on that, I'm not getting rid of Dearden after what he done last year for Queensland, mate. Brilliant. He's one of their best.
I think Ben Eichen came out today with some interesting comments about like the coach still has to talk to that player and gauge their interest, passion. Do they stand for what the Queensland or New South Wales jersey means? So it's still not just because you're eligible, you're in. There's still a whole process that has to go on with that coaching staff and the board and everything actually going, no, we do want this guy in the jersey.
Well, imagine you get a guy in and, he's just there for the cash, for the check-in and to say he played Origin. That's not what Origin is. Origin is representing your state where you're from. You literally I feel you got to hate the other state. It's actually, we grew up on it. We all did. So that's such a good point because you sort of want to vet them and make sure that they're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah. Let's talk the World Club Challenge. Now, you've played in 3 of them over in England, and we're hearing it might be snowing this weekend.
Snow is on the forecast.
Yeah.
It'll be cold. It'll be cold. It'll be horrible. The crowd will just scrub you.
Oh, man.
You can tell some crowd stories, but it's going to be uncomfortable. Like they probably come to Australia and it's a different game. Although St. Helens came here and beat Penrith, which like unbelievable effort from them. Like class, you look at the two teams on paper, you go class, Brisbane by a margin, but it will not be like that. That it'll be short 10 metres, back foot 10 metres, there'll be 8 metres, the ruck will be slow, the ref will be all over the shop, the in goal. It'll be a different game, like brand of footy. It'll be good. Holcar, a good footy team.
It is so. I feel it's so much harder for us to go there. I really do, because they come over here. Yeah, it's hot, and then people say, "Oh, the heat," but you're in perfect conditions.
Yeah.
It's faster. You can sling the ball as much as you want. You go over there, the Broncos, who are a very open attacking side, they might be playing in the snow, and when you're thinking about maybe like passing that pass, that 50-50 one, you just don't, because it's just the conditions are so different. And mate, the refereeing is, I'm not going to comment on it because
comment on it. Why not?
Well, it's ridiculous. It's no, it honestly is, mate. It's like I used to have, and this is the thing. Like I always had like, running battles with refs and whatnot, but over there was a different story, man. Like I'm just like, you can't. You're not calling that, are you? Like, these are the conversations you have. But
do they have any songs about you over there? Any of the opposition teams?
Oh yeah, but I couldn't
repeat it.
No, honestly, my mum was disgusted. The poor thing. There was good ones, because I played FC, so it was KR versus FC, and mate, like I didn't go over that side of the bridge.
You couldn't
that
go
week.
over there?
Nah, like I'm being serious. I thought it was a G up. They'd all say to me like, "Mate, don't go over there on that week." Because like it's just, and I was like, nah, he's a G me up. But man, like my Twitter at the time, it was like, don't come over the Easties.
The best,
Aussie dog.
The best memories I have from those games, the crowd is it'll be packed. I think they're out playing at MKM at LFC.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
it'll be full and just loud. You would have seen it at Vegas last year, Charlie. Like it'll be unbelievable. It's one of those 3 games were my favourite.
Yeah, well, we had Jimmy Graham with us on the field at Vegas, and it was it with the Wigan fans? It was Wigan, wasn't it? That basically was 2,000 Wigan fans calling Jimmy a wanker for about half an hour.
Well, they're not wrong.
Did not stop chatting. They are wrong, that's true. But what's that trip like though? Because you obviously done 3 of them. Like, do you get to enjoy it, or is it fully focused given how close it is to the start of the season?
The best. We so the first one in 15 with Madge was pretty serious. We went straight to England.
Surprise.
Went straight to England, got the job done. But then Robbo does it so well. We spent the first year in Paris for a week, enjoyed ourselves, still did a bit of training, things like that. He took us to the Somme.
Oh, cool.
And then we went over to England just probably 2 days before the game, got ready, got prepared and played. And then the second year we spent it in Barcelona. I think we took Buzz Rothfield with us to Barcelona.
Stop it.
We took Buzz with us on one of the trips. They always take a journo or two from each side on the trip. I still, after the game in the hotel, we'd obviously having a good time. We come back, we was standing in the foyer with Verrills, and he was just searching for Buzz's room and ended up finding it. And that was the end of it about 3 a.m. in the morning.
Knocking runs.
He wouldn't stop. And Buzz, I think he answered the door once, and then he just didn't. He just must have put the headphones on and gone.
That's so good, man.
Did he come out for a beer, Buzz, or no?
He didn't. No, the staff. I think all the staff had a beer after, but yeah,
it would have been safe for him to come for a beer.
It
It would have been safe.
Would have been interesting.
I would have feared for him.
Let's preview the Broncos season, because there's not a heap of changes on their roster, but obviously there are some big ones. Grant Anderson and Allblix Taufa come in. Now, Allblix Taufa has been one of those guys that's trained the house down by all accounts. Their losses are obviously Kobe Black's gone to the Raiders. You got Selwyn Cobbo and Tyson Smoothie leave, as well as Kobe Hetherington. Any changes there stick out for you boys?
Not too many. They'll be unchanged. That 13 will be unchanged. Smoothie filled in there a bit. Cobbo wasn't in the in the team at the back end of the year. I think Payne put it up the other day. It's the last dance for him. Right? Renault leaves. Payne goes to South. It's going to be interesting to see how they go. I think they come out of the blocks. They fly out of the blocks just off the back of last year, the confidence. And then it'll be that middle season. They're going to lose these guys to State of Origin. How they can navigate the middle of the season, and then how Madge and Troy Thompson there get them back up for the end, because it's a difficult. I know Penrith did it 4 times in a row, which is unbelievable, but it is a difficult proposition to carry that momentum. You won't carry it through the full season.
The one thing I will say, they they don't lack any depth. They got good depth in key positions as well. Walter's come in last year and done a brilliant job. You know, you've also got, you know, Benny Hunt, Ezra Mann. Like they've got some really good depth in the key positions. Obviously, with Payno going, I think Willison. I reckon Madge will challenge him and say, mate, we need you to be the new Payne Haas. So we know you got what it takes, but you need to show us that. So because everyone's like, oh, well, how do you replace Payne? I don't think you can, but you've got a guy with plenty going on. I'll ask you a question after, just about how different it is after winning a comp. But I think Reece Walsh is obviously the key. It's a silly thing to say, but it's a big year for him. And a big year for Madge on how he deals with him, because let's face it, Reece, on and off the field, there's always something going on around him, whether it's good or bad, and that's just the way it is. It's a bit like Trell, you know, like people are always saying something about him, good or bad, but I think it's going to be up to Madge, you know, Reno, Paddy Carrigan, the leaders, to be like, mate, we know what you are, but let's just keep grounded. Let's just make sure you're doing your job, and because we know what you can do when you're on, but if your mind's not here, well, we've also seen what can happen. But so they go from this last season, you know, a bit up and down, but charged home, won the comp. But now they're obviously the hunted now. Is it? People always say this, but is it different when you do win a comp going into that next year? Do you feel everyone gets up week in, week out to try and knock his off?
It is. There's a few things different. There's 16 other teams that didn't win the comp, and you turn up to preseason and go, we didn't do what we wanted to do last year. Let's turn the dial a bit and go after it again. And then when you win the comp, subconsciously you come back a little bit like, we just got the job done. Let's get back into it. And a lot of those boys played Pacific Nations or for Australia too, so they would have come back a bit late. So the preseason's not the same. You lose a little bit of that hunger in terms of, you know, you don't start in November or December and go through. A lot of them would have started in January, and then everyone wants to knock you off. Everyone wants that. You've got to be there every game. From the teams coming last all the way at the top, they all know what they're in for with them, and they're coming after them. It'll be Walsh will be he could easily win the Dally M. If he plays to 80 or 90% of his capacity for the full year, he probably wins it. He's going to have to go through a full State of Origin series this year, which he hasn't done yet. It's going to be the Madge story will pop up as it does. There'll be things that come out and through the year. But yeah, I'm interested to see how they go.
It's about dealing with, like you said it before, like I feel like the lulls in energy, like that's because you know you can win a comp because you've done it, right? But then it's like, as a coaching staff as well, and as even players, it's like, well, we're at this point now, boys, but we're probably not playing our best, but how do we go to that next level? What have we got to do? Sometimes you're like, we're trying everything. And when you try it too hard, it has the opposite effect. So never had to deal with that because I never won one. But
it wasn't easy for them last year. So they bumbled and bubbled their way through. I think Benny Tio's spoken about when they went to Manly and lost at Brookie. They end up having a drink after and things started to kick up. But even that final, they were gone. Walsh goes to the bin, gone. Like Canberra up by how many? Like
That's crazy.
nearly 3 tries. Walsh comes back and they pull this victory out. Then they did really well against Penrith, but Penrith were just hanging on. And then even in the grand final at half time, it was Melbourne. Like Melbourne would feel like they should have won that game. Brisbane, Walsh, unbelievable performance, just steal it from them. So it wasn't like they dominated last year. So it's two ways to me. They either go to the next level. Like we did in 18, we weren't great as a spine, and then all of a sudden 19 was just like, here we go. Or things start to bubble up again and different issues kind of rear their head through the season.
Are you worried at all about the health of someone like Adam Reynolds in that key position? Obviously, a lot of soft tissue injuries last year for him.
Yeah, look, it's tough. It really is because you can't control it. You get to that age, and I had heaps of soft tissues, and unfortunately, it affects everything. It affects your training, which then also affects, your flow with your combinations. I don't get what anyone says. Like, if you haven't got your 7 or your 6 training, the training session's so different, and you're just leading into games. You just got that. Oh, we might be all right, but he's only training Friday. Just little things like that.
Having Benny,
it is a worry. Yeah,
like
absolutely. And Billy Walters.
Yeah, Billy.
Like
like you said, they've got cover in key position. So yes, Reynolds, he won't play. He probably won't play 25 games, but Ben Hunt easily slots in there.
Yeah.
Billy Walters can slot in the half. So yeah, it is. You don't want to miss him, but you are. He's going to miss a few games.
Is there any use in like possibly Madge going 10 games in, giving him a couple of weeks rest, something like that?
That's a good shout.
Because it's like we know that, Billy can come in and do a job, or Ben, and then, we've got cover at every other position. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
They started Ben Hunt in the grand final last year.
Yeah.
So this wasn't like a settled spine this wasn't a settled spine that played 25 games together. This was blokes out of position doing different roles. Ezra coming off the bench. Like this is
Billy Walters started the week 1 finals game as well. He was in there at 6.
Gee, he was good, boys.
He was
You
amazing.
don't realise like he doesn't get enough raps for it, I reckon. But he was just, you know what they done when that happened, boys. I find, and this is no like chip on Reno or Ezra even like, but they're their own players in their own way. Like they want to take control of the game. But what Billy Walters done and Benny Hunt done, they just opened up space for Reece Walsh. That's when Reece Walsh exploded because they understood we just got to feed the beast. Feed the beast and let him go to work. And I feel that's why it was so good for him.
Are they contenders again this year?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Where you got them? Grand final, premiership winners?
I've got 2 grand final solutions for you.
Here we go. Let's hear them.
Roosters, Dogs. Roosters, Broncos. Headed hard. Hey, what are you laughing at?
Dogs, mate.
Another battle, mate.
We hear enough of you and Jimmy Graham dribbling on Triple M about the Dogs. Have you got them in the grand final?
We clipped that him laughing. He was laughing.
It'll be tough. Like I said, they didn't dominate last year. I reckon they take a little step back, but they could easily go the other way. If Reece goes out and has a Dally M year, they could easily end up in the grand final. I wrote them off last year, the mid season when they were just it was all over. So they end up winning the grand final. So they've definitely got the squad, definitely got the team, definitely got the coach. But it's very difficult, very very difficult.
We'll wrap up today's previewing Manly's season. Now, obviously, it's the first time since 2010 without DCE. They bring in Jamal Fogarty, so simple replacement there. Zach Docker-Clay comes over, who you would have played with, Luke. Kobe Hetherington comes in, and also Blake Wilson as well. They lose Josh Alloway, Jake Arthur, Chan Kum Tong, who's gone over to the Dogs. DC, as I said, Lockie Croker, Michael Cheekham, Matt Lodge, Toff Sipley, Tommy Talau, and Jazz Tavanga. Now, that's a lot of experienced players leaving that footy club.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, Fogarty's such a good player, right? Like, he's a halfback. Like, he's a little general, but I feel he really suited that Canberra side. When I say that, I mean Canberra are the best one-on-one tackle busters in the game. All you got to do is give their centres the ball, give Strange the ball, Weeks the ball, and they'll do their own thing. So I think Fogarty, he just understood that. So he didn't even, at times, dig in the line, play square, this, that. He just knew who he had to get the ball to at the right time, but then kicked well. One of the best kicking games in the competition. But Manly got a different side. You've got Turbo, you've got Brooksy. They're your points of attack.
Yep.
That's how they're going to, I suppose, try and come up with points and generate quick ruck speed. But it's just different. So I'm just very interested to see how Fogarty goes. I actually think he's got to create a bit more for Manly. I really do. And I think for me, and we spoke about the soft tissue stuff, if they're going to be a threat at all, Manly, Turbo has to play one. I just think he has to. Don't get me wrong, he can play centre and this and that, but he needs his hands on the ball as much as possible. And I think it's up to Fogarty to tinker with his style and speak to Brooksy and Turbo about how they're going to play. I'm just very interested to see how their style's going to be. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's been based around Daly Cherry Evans for 15 seasons. So I love Turbo. I'm really close to him, good mates with him. When's the last time he got through a season? What, at fullback?
Maybe even when that year won the Dally M, he only played about
Yeah, he got 3 points in every game.
Yeah.
It's the key to him, and he's like I think they were about to get rid of him in the off season.
Mm.
Tommy, there's so much going on at that club. Like I can't. They're a bit like the Tigers. You can't keep up.
That was before that they got the new CEO, Jason King. So that was the Mestrov administration that was looking at maybe, do we re-sign Tom Trbojevic? That was so it's a different setup now. And
there's a heap of losses. There's only a few gains. Fogarty's big, but is he going to do? He's definitely going to be different to Ches. Is he going to add more than what Daly added to him? Luke Brooks has been good there without being great. And like he's at that, he'd be 31, 30. Like, is he at that stage now where it starts to kind of plateau and come down? And then Tommy, I don't know how many games he's going to play. Jake.
Well, he's one head knock away from probably retiring. He said that.
He's openly said that, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing the new headgear. But these are real things, right?
Yeah,
they lose Jake early on. That's your spiritual leader gone. They lost Paseka last year, and it all kind of just fell apart. They're tinkering on the edge of it could go horribly wrong really quickly. And like Turbo's not playing this week. He's left Jake out. He's left Tomoli out. I think Anthony Seibold knows if I don't have these guys, if I don't have my top 5 or 6 on the field, we are in big trouble. And let's be honest, these aren't Jason King's people either. He's just got there.
Yep.
He's part of that Manly crew that went through the 2011, 2008. If things don't go well, there could be a bit of change there.
I think Paseka's a key man. They soon as they lost him last year, they literally lost a lot of punch. And he's such a good player. You don't realise he's sideways movements and all the little things that a big guy like that doesn't usually do. I know last year I'm pretty sure he's in the frame for Origin because he started really well and he's a big body. And I think they really missed that because as a half, you love that guy. That's the guy you wait for to go, all right, I'm going to go off the back of him. So I think he'll bring, a bit of punch back to a Manly pack who, they did struggle at times last year and that was the question. But you're right, it is a big season for Manly as a whole just to see like where we at.
It is. Yeah, like
where are we at?
All these guys are at that age, and even Seibold's been there for 4 or 5 seasons now. It's like, is this what we want to do for the next, 3 to 5 seasons? Yes, it is. If they can get Turbo going and things like that, or it's just not work. Like it's the same. They're in that middle pack of teams, just kind of bubbling along.
Yeah. The Paseka one as well. He's coming off the Achilles. He's a big boy. Achilles injuries aren't what they used to be. It used to be do your Achilles, you're pretty much your career's over. But you're worried at all like he's a big body and it's a serious injury he's returning from.
Yeah.
It'll take him. It'll take him. You don't just walk back in and play big minute. And he's not a massive minute front rower anyway. Ola Kawatu's he's got to take. He takes the load. Like Ola Kawatu, he's the
he does.
Top 3 or 4 edge back rolls in the competition. But yeah, it's going to take Paseka, a month or 2 to get back into the groove of things. Which I don't know if they have a month or 2 to just cruise into the season.
Is Fogarty an upgrade on DCE, or is that harsh on DCE?
What do you put? It's not an upgrade. And that's no offense to either player. I'm going to say it's a massive difference in the style. Very different players. As I said, DCE has just said it. He's there for 15 years. You pretty much Manly played DCE's style for so long, and they have for so many years. And a lot of these players have actually played with him, for long periods of their career. So. And this is, we speak about being the general. Straight away, Jamal's had to go in there and earn everyone's trust straight away. That's the first thing when you leave a club, as a half especially. You want to go in there and there's nothing worse than, I think, a half, and this is when I was a bit younger and you're a part of teams and I'm, coming off the bench as 9 when the half isn't confident in what he's doing. So if Jamal's gone in there confident, said to the boys, look, I'm going to get you around the park and let you do what you've got to do. I think this is a big thing, but there's going to be some teething problems. I really do think that because I think it's a way that Cherry plays. Everyone's like, what would he be doing? Like when people say that about Benji, but people like his own players would be like, I didn't know what he was doing, but he comes up with a play. Yep. I think Cherry Evans was a bit like that, and these players were adapted a little bit to that. But maybe I think it's going to be good for Brooksy. I think Brooksy having a guy who can control the structure and he can just look up at the short sides, get Turbo when he needs it, and sort of just float. That's where I think it will be very different for this Manly side.
Yeah, I don't think it's not an upgrade. He did a great job last year at Canberra. Couldn't get him over the line in the finals and in the box seat. But this will be a different proposition. Like Josh said, that Canberra team is just full of energy, enthusiasm, and power. He's gonna have to pick players up around him, put him on his back.
Yep.
If Joey Walsh does come into the team, and he looked great in the trial, Joey Walsh, would it be for Brooks or would it be for Fogarty?
Watching his style over the weekend, he looks like a halfback to me. So I don't think him and Jamal would work. That's the only thing I'll say on that. Like, it could. Like you say this, he could play a different style. It's like Mitch Moses. You know, we watched Mitch come from one of the best sevens in the game to a six out the back of Nathan Cleary in Origin. So it's whether he can do that sort of transition. But that's this is going to be the question straight away.
Yeah. If
they don't start well,
yeah.
You know, there's going to be that talk around it. And I feel this is just, you don't need it early in the season either. Like if you're in that position, I remember being like that when it was Trent Hodkinson, myself, and Moses Mbai in a little like triangle. You're just like, just give me 5 weeks. Yeah. I know it's not going great at the moment, but just give me 5 weeks without anyone yapping, without journos going, got to get rid of him, get rid of this bloke. But yeah, it's going to be. Have you seen much of
he's a young fella? He looks good, Joey Walsh. Fogarty's safe. You've bought him over.
Yeah, true.
He's not going anywhere. Whether they work together, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think Walsh will start in reserve grade, but as I said, they don't have a month or two to just cruise into the season. Like Jason King will be sitting there going, "How do I want this club to look over the next 5-10 years?"
And it's interesting what you say. How Sieb's not a Jason King guy. There was all that talk about the old boys not being a fan of Anthony Seibold, and Jason King's obviously going to be very, very close to all those old boys as well. So that could become a storyline. Like, you hear the numbers like, he's got 8 to 10 games. Seibold, it's sort of him and Todd Payton. They're the two coaches that are under the most pressure going into the season. The other thing on Manly, they got some pace though, don't they? Like Lehigh Puade, Jason Saab, Tolu Kula, fast outside backs.
They've always had that.
Yeah.
I always used to look at the schedule, and if you got them on a Sunday over at Brookie or Saturday over, it's trouble. They've always been like that, and they've always played this expansive style. But we always used to say, let's just wait till July, August when it's a bit colder, and you have to come. You got to go play on a Friday night under the dew, and you can't shift the ball out of yardage and things like this. Like they've always played that style of footy. And it's a really attractive brand of footy, and it'll be interesting to see if Seibold sticks with that without Daly, or he moves to a more long game focus, which is what the best teams in the competition play through the middle. So
they got speed.
They've got speed.
They got speed, and the one thing I'll give it to Manly when they're on and they actually are humming. As soon as there's a half line break, those quick guys understand it because they understand that style that they play. As soon as we make a half break, we've got to go, and we're all on board. And it's just interesting because, well, for me, my team would be Turbo at the back, which then puts Hopewadi on the wing, Ruben Garrick in the centres, Kolar on the wing, and Saab.
Kolar on the wing. Centre.
Sorry, Kolar centre. Yep. Yeah, well, because I just feel that's the way you sort of got it. Because I'm just sort of looking at one here. It's got Hopewadi at the back. I don't know do we know if Turbo's starting at the back or
Turbo's going to get fullback first crack.
First crack. Okay,
so Hopewadi, and a good example that's happening. Hopewadi's on the wing this week. Like if there was a chance he was going to play fullback, he'd be playing fullback this week.
Yep.
Great show though, boys. Great to have you two in here.
Good start.
Hopefully, plenty more of you two together over the footy season.
So we're actually friends now.
Oh yeah.
Used to hate him.
Did you used to hate him?
No, well, I didn't like him.
Yeah.
But people used to be like, if there's, I shouldn't say this.
No, say it. No.
They used to say like you wanted to box someone.
Yeah.
Like because we used to, he used to bully me on the field.
Bully.
Try to bully me.
He'd be like, get off. No, but that's the thing, isn't it? And then do you know what's so funny? Because a lot of people would be like, mate, like you're just so different on the field. I said, do you think like I walk around the streets like?
He does.
I've seen
him bumping old ladies.
Yeah. Oh no.
We're the big rival, the South Bulldogs rivalry through that first part.
It's so good. That added to
Run
it.
around, pointing at people.
So good.
No, but great to have you boys in, and we'll be back
brother.
on Monday for another edition of Triple M NRL Daily.
Thanks, mate.